Well, hello and welcome to the Tooker Tapes archive clip project thing update. I'm Kelly, and these are the Tooker Tapes. Just behind me is some raw footage from an action in Montreal, so shout out to Montreal. Angela is there this week, coming up on Halloween. I think she said they're having the 50th anniversary of Le Monde Bicyclette there, and she's meeting up with some friends, so hopefully some of those friends get to see this video. The raw footage is in the back. Coming up soon, watch the counter down below, is the edited clip that I put together of this action where they commemorate 43 cyclists and pedestrians that were killed on the streets of Montreal by automobiles in 1996. Excellent action. We had great media turnout. I was really surprised. Like back then, the media actually cared about these things, so we've got a number of photographers and videographers and reporters on the scene. There's even a quick little blip of a reporter actually taking notes, paying attention for follow-up questions for the interview later on. Brilliant stuff. I'm not sure how much of that media was actually used on the day of the reporting, but it was good to see it out there for sure. Some common themes in this clip are, besides street theater and activism, which is the strongest running theme, we've got car-free cities, we've got safe streets, we've got community gardens, we've got guerrilla gardening. A whole matter of interesting things are going to pop up on this video. Again, I hope that folks are able to take that in. If you know some people in Montreal that were at that demo, they might be interested to see it. Most everybody is in costume, so it's hard to recognize who might be there, but it's hilarious. I really like how Tooker stayed in costume for the whole thing, used his bike helmet to hold down his ghost sheet. Kind of hilarious. Some really great moments in there, and again, his comments and his activism and the types of campaigns that him and Angela and the activists around them were working on still resonate today. He makes mention of a car-free cities conference in Lyon, France in 1997, where the Lyon Protocol was born. I'm curious if anybody has any follow-up on that. You can leave a comment down below or a link. Very interesting stuff. Again, ahead of their time. So thanks for checking out the Tooker Tapes. Again, feel free to skip through at any point. I'm going to preamble a little bit more and give a pitch here for you to support this project. I think it's very important to archive all this stuff. Angela obviously does as well. She's fronted the $10,000 to get this project going, but unfortunately it's not enough to see it through to completion, so we're going to need your help on a fundraiser. Either buy me a coffee or plug in with larger amounts for the charity that's helping to fund this. Or if you or somebody you know is good at finding funds, putting the fundraising grants together and finding the money to help support this archive project. It's relevant for activism, it's relevant for modern times. We've got Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal, Halifax represented. It's very Canadiana. We've got an evolution of activism. We've got an evolution of police response to activism, media, and how they respond and how they're able to cover things. And we've also got running themes of being kind of put on the outside, being put down, being gaslit, being ignored. There's some very interesting footage 6 years, almost 7 years, 6.5 years into the future that I watched and digitized yesterday as well, that shows Tooker in conversation and a little bit of conflict with the security team around Prime Minister Paul Martin. And it's very interesting how much personal information their security team knows. And it made me feel uneasy because that was 2 months shy of Tooker's death. One of the difficult parts of working on this project is knowing the inevitable outcome of Tooker. Very sad tale. Again, I'm not going to get into the full details here. I want to stay focused on this Montreal action, commemorating and paying tribute to the 43 people that were dead. There's Angela on screen, I believe, speaking into the megaphone. And you'll see on the finished video, we've got Tooker, we've got Angela, and a bunch of other activists doing their activisty thing. So thanks for checking that out. Enjoy. Like and subscribe. Check out some of the others on the playlist here, and we'll see you around. Cheers.
Where's the megaphone? by cars. 43 cyclists and pedestrians were killed in this city last year alone. On est ici sur l'avenue du Parc, surtout parce que, comme vous voyez peut-être dans l'arrière-plan, c'est vraiment similaire à une autoroute. C'est pour un chemin qui traverse le parc le plus gros à Montréal. On trouve ça réellement dangereux. C'est prédominant par des piétons qui marchent et beaucoup de cyclistes. Entre autres, les commerçants sur la rue à côté du parc, plus au nord, ils ferment boutique. Il y a beaucoup de commerces qui n'ont pas de clients parce que les gens ont peur de marcher avec tous les automobiles qui roulent trop vite, souvent dépassant 70 km/h.
We're here on Park Avenue to exorcise the spirits, the evil spirits of the automobile in our city. The automobile has contributed more than anything else to the horrors of Montreal, the horrors of people being killed almost daily by the car. A couple of years back, a cyclist was killed by a motor vehicle. It's time to recognize the horrors that are caused by the automobile and to work for a sustainable and healthy city. We're here to exorcise the car. We're here to symbolically recognize the death and destruction brought to Montreal by the car. We're here with 43 pumpkins to illustrate the damage caused to 43 people who were killed last year by the car.
Stop the burning! Enough death and destruction! Reclaim the streets! For life! Vive la révolution!
No more pollution!
No more dead bodies!
Dead bodies!
Stop the horrors!
Cycling! Until your teeth!
On veut la révolution!
l'automobile et non les habitants qui y vivent. En tant que citoyenne de Montréal, moi j'aime la ville, j'aime rester ici. Je crois qu'on peut en faire quelque chose de réellement beau. C'est une ville diverse, une ville riche en personnes créatives. Et c'est malheureux que c'est l'auto qui prend plus de place que l'âme de chaque personne qui vit à Montréal.
The pedestrian front, we feel that the city should start enforcing the pedestrian crosswalks that do exist in Quebec, like they exist in Ontario. It's incredible. They exist, and the law is that the cars are supposed to stop. People don't even know about them.
It's these cars. They're killing people, they're maiming people, they're making really our city. And we're trying to envision and bring forward a healthier, more livable city with more green space where people can ride their bikes and walk around rather than getting around in such a destructive and uncivilized
Would you say that it's dangerous to be a pedestrian in Montreal?
I don't think that it's necessarily dangerous to be a pedestrian, but I think the city could be doing a lot more to make it safer and more attractive for pedestrians. There's a conference going on right now in Europe, a conference where hundreds of activists are coming together to talk about car-free cities. I think we need to start imagining that. What would Montreal look like as a car-free city? And it would be a lot healthier. The air would be cleaner to breathe. There'd be a lot more space for playgrounds, for gardens, and so forth. And that's an ideal that we think is something worth talking about.
European traffic calming, is that what you were talking about earlier about getting rid of the cars?
Well, the concept of traffic calming, and it's virtually unknown in Montreal, but the concept is that if you design a road like you do here, that it's wide and there's a straightaway, cars will speed. Whereas if you redesign the street so it's narrower, so there are raised parts to the street, so there aren't direct lines of sight, you can actually slow down the traffic just by the design of a street. And it's very, very common in Western Europe. It's something that really the city should be looking at. It really, I think that the mayor and council should get out and take the bus once in a while. And why not? Why isn't the mayor riding his bicycle once a week to work? Why aren't the councillors walking to work? That would set a good example for health, for ecology, and certainly for many of Montrealers who don't drive. empty, we're going to throw all this in the lot. In the spring, we're going to have squash growing there. I've been looking at this lot, wanting to start growing something there.
Look, more pumpkins. It's the pumpkin patch.
This is real broadcasting. Now, hopefully next year we'll get some pumpkins growing here. See, I've been thinking about reclaiming this space and growing something in it for a long time. And now out of this demo that we just did, we have organic matter, we have seeds, and we have a lot right downtown. So come back next year for the second annual pumpkin smashing exorcism of the cars in the city.